Hello and welcome to Unsettled JD. Today, let's learn about Salzburg in Austria. The best way to travel around Austria is definitely by train. Everything is interconnected, it's easy, it's quick, it's nice, it's relatively cheap. On that note, I unfortunately had to take a minivan because I was in Kresge Krumlov and made my way to Salzburg, and I could only take a minivan. Unfortunately, it was a little over my budget, but there's nothing I could do about that as the bus was full and I had no other option to leave Kresge Krumlov and get to Salzburg. So once in Salzburg, I got dropped off the train station and somehow didn't find my hostel very easily. I somehow saved it wrong, and so I ended up going to the old city with all my bags and just kind of walking around, took a few pictures. So once I found my hostel and put all my bags away, I went back to the old city and just got a feel for the city. And I got my Salzburg card. So the Salzburg card lets you get into free entry into a lot of different places. For 24 hours, you do get free transportation. It costs 29 euros in the summer and 26 euros in the winter. And I highly suggest getting it, as again, you get into many free places with this card and free transportation. And there's a lot of things that I wouldn't have known about or have done if I actually didn't have this card. So with the card, the places that I went and did was the Mozart's birthplace house, his residency as well, with his kids. And I also did the Salzburg City Cruise, but make sure you book the cruise ahead of time and pick a time because it runs every hour. And I did the sunset one, so it kind of it fills up really quickly. I also did the Sound of Music World Museum and learned about the real people who made the Sound of Music. It was based on a true story to an extent. Obviously the movie changes some of the details. I also went to the famous Salzburg Fortress. So again, it's a big castle or a fortress on the mountain that overlooks the entire city. So you can get a cable car up to the fortress, and with the Salzburg Pass, it's free. And the best thing about it is you can pretty much walk right on because you have that card and you don't have to wait in line. So once you get to the fortress, of course, again, the card lets you in for free entry as well. And so you can walk around the castle grounds and go into the castle and check out the museums that they have to offer there as well. Which was great. I also went to the Dom Quartier, which is basically like a big cathedral place. That was really interesting. You also get a little feel for the religious aspect in the city as well. And scattered throughout the old city town square, there's lots of statues and restaurants and eateries to go to as well. And another famous thing about Salzburg, after Mozart of course, is the Sound of Music was filmed here. So there's lots of places that you can go and visit from the Sound of Music that are free, like the Marabella Palace that has that flowerbed when the kids sing and kind of run through that garden. Unfortunately, I lost all my pictures from that. I'm not sure where they went to. The convent as well, but that is closed to the public. I will make another video about the Sound of Music as I did a tour on that. But something from that is you can go on the Moncheberg lift. So that lift takes you to the Modern Museum. I wanted to go to the Modern Museum, but unfortunately it was closed due to a social gathering and closed to the public. But it has amazing views of the city. And if you watch The Sound of Music, you'll realize that that view is the same in The Sound of Music. The lift is free with the Salzburg card. I think it only costs 3 euros to go if you didn't have the card. So it's still kind of relatively cheap to go up and to get that view of the city. I ended up watching the sunset there. Oh no, I didn't because I went on the cruise. So Salzburg, lots of history, lots of music, and it is a great city. Again, I first expected to be there for 1 day, but upon research I realized that I needed 2 days. I would say that probably wasn't enough either, but I pretty much tried to jam-pack everything in that I wanted to see. I wanted to go see a Christmas museum, but unfortunately it was closed on Monday, so I didn't get to go see that and did other stuff instead. There's lots of cheap places to eat local food, schnitzels, I love schnitzels, and lots of good beer as well. Thank you for joining me for this information about Salzburg in Austria. Bye!